All right, Kevin back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with JJ Checki. JJ, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Yes, thank you, Kevin, for the opportunity.
I'll tell you, you and I want to start by giving a shout out to Nos Vu because Nos was the one who introduced you and I. And,
Yes.
and I'll tell you what, anytime I get connected with somebody through somebody that I already know, already have a great relationship with, already have trust and rapport with, and all that. Man, that is the best way to meet somebody new. And and of course, Nas, he spoke very highly of you, and it was like, Kev, you need to get JJ on the podcast.
Oh,
And
thank
and
you.
so we got to have a conversation already and get to know each other a little bit. And I agree with Nas. I've been looking forward to having this conversation today,
Yes,
JJ.
and Nas has been amazing, even the conversations I've had with him and his expertise in what he does. So definitely want to check that out for those who don't know him yet.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we'll just start off with a nice, simple question to get us rolling and stuff, and then we'll start
Mhm.
digging in deeper. But why don't we just start off, JJ, with talking about, what you do and who you serve, and we can dig in deeper from there.
Definitely, thank you. So, certified financial planner, along with John Checki Jr., who's also a CFP and CPA. We'll talk about him later. But
Okay.
ultimately, it was we serve our clients so they can live the life that they want to live. The shortest way to put it is for our clients to have more money and pay less taxes.
Okay. Very
Because the
good.
money is just the tool to live the life and the lifestyle that they actually want, the freedom of schedule and whatever kind of the things that individual clients enjoy for as far as retirement goes, or just continuing to work, but choosing what type of work that they continue to do.
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's the thing right there. It's just, if more people got to choose what they did for
Yes.
work versus just
Yep.
kind of falling into it like, well, I guess I just do this, It's
Correct. Yes, definitely.
and I have been incredibly blessed over the years that for many years now, I mean, oh gosh, it's been over 20 years. I've been doing work that I chose to do, that like I want to do this. I love doing. I mean, right here, this is a good
Yes.
example. I love being the host of this podcast and talking with awesome entrepreneurs.
And so many others benefit because of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, what inspires you most about the work you get to do and the impact you guys are making?
Yeah, definitely. I'll share that by sharing at least one story. It's we were introduced to a family after a particular a tragedy. The husband and father
Okay.
passed away, and that's how we were introduced to them because they came into a settlement, some money. And we were able to help the mom and the two little girls not only help, I mean, obviously a very tough situation, but to help them on the money side to be able to them to know that they were taken care of. They had another professional that they could trust and who were looking out for them. And then when they were comfortable to move from where they lived when we first met them into a better place for their family, the resources were there, and we were very excited about the fact that they were moving to a safer place. They're moving to a place that they could, in this case, they already have chickens and other animals on their property, something that we didn't even know they wanted to do. But it's something that's really helped their family and be good for them. So it's getting to see that's on the a young family side. And there are other stories of recent retiree that loves the work that he does, but also is ready for a break. And same thing, choosing the jobs he takes. He's taking some kind of the side work and then already even stopped doing that because he's like, I'm good. I don't have to do
Uh-huh.
this. So he can actually enjoy taking care of his farm, his family, and devote his time to other things. So for being able to encourage and ensure him that he is financially set, he has taken the time over his lifetime to save and invest for the future. And now he can step away from work if he wants to, or not work if he wants to, and continue and now enjoy retirement.
Yeah. Wow. So I want to ask more questions around that in a little bit, but I want to kind of like go back a little bit. I want to find out,
Mhm.
how did you get in to even doing what you're doing now? What is the backstory? I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman, and I never did become a fireman. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I feel like so blessed that I get to do what I do today. And I would have never imagined that when I was a kid. I would imagine you feel the same way, but let's go back. How did you even, what's your background? How did you get here?
Yeah, definitely. It's an interesting blend of always loved math, always enjoyed people, but I didn't want to necessarily be a math teacher.
Okay.
So
Okay.
went to college for a finance degree. John Checki, who I had referenced, is also a financial advisor. We worked together. So there was always that possibility of working together in the future. Shortly out of college, I was actually in vocational student ministry for 9 years. So
Oh,
9 years
okay.
both within the church and at the local schools. And when that season came to a close, that's when I teamed up with John to launch into financial services. And then
Okay.
that's early on. I got to share a couple client stories a moment ago, but early on, we surveyed our clients about how we had served them and how we had helped them and what are other areas, things that we may be able to do for them. And story after story after story is about them enjoying their life and the impact that we had already made. And it inspired me even more to want to continue doing what we do. And now I get to continue those stories and families and impact ongoing with other
Yeah.
families that we serve.
Wow. Wow. So, um, how long have you guys been doing this now?
So over 13 years now, we've been partnered
13
together.
years. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And so, what from where you guys are now, 13
Mhm.
years into this, from your
Yes.
current vantage point, what's your vision for the work and the company going forward?
Yes, definitely. A few years back, I wrote on a not quite a sticky note, but essentially a sticky note. 20 years from now, what do I want this to look like? And wrote down a few ideas. And as far as the fun part for John, who's been in the industry for over 30 years, closer to 40, is he wants to continue and to serve families. So we're getting to partner together as father and son. I call him Pop, but as father and son to be able to continue in the business, taking care of people. And maybe one of my kids, who have three teenagers now, one of them has particularly expressed some interest. Maybe that continues on to the future. So it goes on to the next generation in the future.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And so, oh, okay. So now that we've got
Hmm.
a little bit of context set and people have a little bit of an idea of who you are and what you're all about, I want to switch gears on the conversation just a little bit. I want to start talking about the relationship side
Oh,
of
yes.
this.
Hmm.
So, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons
Hmm.
who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Definitely. Thank you. There's so many stories I can share and people along the way that I frequently stop with just with gratitude and think about the impact of people along my journey and prefer personally and professionally. I'll highlight a couple though.
Yeah.
One personally, I was in my late teens, maybe early 20s, shortly after I had given my life to Christ. And there was one family, two really, but one family that I spent more time with, getting to see the husband love his wife and to serve his family and to serve his kids. I'd go over there for dinner and just have some good conversation. I could even tell at times when they weren't quite fully on the same page,
Okay.
but they were talking like we're talking right now. It was just they were just discussing something that just they weren't quite on the same page at the time. And just getting to see what that looked like within a family. And then he'd hit a pause button and he would go put his young kids to bed and then he would come back and we would chat some more. So just getting to real practical, what does it look like, hands-on to be a father and getting to see a husband love his wife was so impactful for me that at 20 years old, I graduated college the next year or two and the next year. And I was looking forward to getting married and having a family, a big part because of Bill Keller and his wife, Tony, and their impact on me.
Wow. Wow. And so now fast forward and you're married and got a family and so
Mhm.
how is that manifested in your own life now?
Oh, definitely. How I serve and love my wife.
Yeah.
Definitely, that was a big impact there of being intentional about time together, intentional about focusing on the kids and daddy dates. As three teenagers, probably don't call it daddy dates anymore, but spending time together intentionally with each one of them and sometimes together as a group. And it's fun, even more interesting. So, a couple of the kids I've gotten to do activities with over the years. My oldest, Sarah, with soccer when she was little, and I'd go out there and run around with her team because why not? I get a good exercise and it's fun to get to spend time with my daughter. And then fast forward more recently, my youngest, as a son, Zachariah, we volunteer with a group that serves special needs called United Rocks.
Okay.
So we get to go to the rock climbing gym together and have fun serving and then stay together and climb. So then I was thinking about my daughter Elizabeth, who I haven't had that kind of one-on-one sport time with and time with the other two kids. And recently she's been wanting to play volleyball a lot with her friends and invited me to join them as well. So
Oh,
we've played a couple times so far, as early as a couple of days ago. And one, it's just fun getting out there with their friends, goofing around, but it's also a good way to get outside and get some exercise. So that was part of trying to or being intentional with the relationships even within my own home, and realizing there was one of the kids that hadn't quite had that focus time that I had with the other two.
yeah. Wow. I had an experience probably with one of my older daughters. We've got seven kids and nine grandkids now, and
Congratulations.
uh, and with one of my older daughters, we had went to this retreat down in Florida, like probably 11 years, 12 years ago now. But we had such an experience, me and
Mhm.
Caitlin did at that retreat, that I just learned the power of having that one-on-one time with our kids because we've always
Yes.
been big on
Hmm.
family and we get family get-togethers all the time, but
Yes.
I wasn't having that one-on-one time with each
Hmm.
of the kids.
Definitely.
And we started doing that, and and my youngest daughter at the time was 4.
Hmm.
And when I started, asking her, well, what she wanted to do, her first thing was she goes, well, I want to go to the nail salon, Dad, at 4 years old. And so her and I, she is 16 now, but her
Yes.
and I have been going to the nail salon since she was 4 years old. Same nail salon every time. In fact, everybody there knows us. Even when I call
Mhm.
them, they
Yes.
probably got my name on their phone or something. But whenever I
Mhm.
call them, they're like, "Oh, hi, Kevin." I didn't wait for me to talk. She As soon as she answers, "Oh, hi, Kevin."
Yes.
Are
Oh,
you and
that's
Ellie coming in?
spectacular.
You know, and it's been a really cool thing all these years that
Definitely.
we've just had that one-on-one time together. We go to the nail salon, then we'll go grab a bite to eat or whatever, and
Hmm.
and the whole thing is the process that I learned is when you're on this one-on-one time with your child, no cell phones or anything like
Yep.
that, and then just ask questions of
Hmm.
your child and stuff, and just allow them to just share with you and stuff, and let them see that you're genuinely interested. And I'll tell you, after all these years of doing that, I mean, I'm sure my kids and my daughter don't share everything with me, but
True.
they
Yes.
share a lot. And they
Correct.
have shared things that, man, that curls my toes sometimes.
Yes.
And so,
Yes. And it's that investment that you've made in them with the time that be able to have those, I'll call it maybe mature conversations going forward. And there's some all just also fun late nights of just taking a moment before the kids go into bed and they'll maybe share something, not just about their day, because that's fairly normal, but just something that's more personal that's on their mind,
yeah,
just having that the individual time together. So being intentional, that you've done with your family, and I've been fortunate to be able to do with my family as well.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know there was one other person that you want to
Oh,
honor, and I
yes.
want to make sure and give you time to do that too.
Yes, definitely. I think on the professional side, and it shouldn't be too much of a surprise to people, but John Checki Jr., my pop, of getting to work together and kind of bring me into the business and grow up in the business together with him as a financial advisor and now as a certified financial planner. And he's still loving the work that we do, still active with our clients, with the
Okay.
researching investments, with more tools that we have available to bring to the table. So it's a lot of fun to get to see his passion. He's been doing this for a very long time, still has the passion for the clients, passion for the work that we do, which is a great example for me to keep learning, Don't just stop and think, oh, I know this, or I've know this, or this is how this thing works, but to continue to be learning and developing and improving my skill set, the whole sharpening the axe. So as you then apply it, you have the tools and resources available to best serve our clients.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So what is an example of a situation where you personally
Mhm.
got to make a really substantial impact, and maybe even in the moment, maybe it might even have surprised you a little bit. You were like, wow, look at what just happened there. And yet you also know that would have never been possible if not for the relationship that you had with either one of the people that you
Yeah.
mentioned. What's an example of a situation where were empowered in that way?
Yes, definitely. Well, it comes to mind, I don't know if I usually say share names or not on this, but Philip
Totally up
Hahn,
to you.
a former student of mine that was, I guess, probably middle school age is when we started whatever, mentoring him or being part of his life and him and his family. And then fast forward many years later, we got an invitation to his wedding.
Okay.
So it was great experience to be there for when he got married. But one thing that stands out, which is why I brought this up, is one of his mom came over to us and said, "You don't know the impact that you made on Philip, and especially around prayer and talking with God that you had." I almost tear up just sharing that, and just getting to hear that from years later. I know I spent a lot of time with him, but I had no idea that the impact that had continued on years later.
Wow. Yeah. And doesn't that just make you feel good to know that you just
Hmm.
had an impact on someone that, I mean, you've shared examples here of people that had impact on you, and years
Hmm.
later, that impact is still unfolding.
Yes, it is definitely.
And
Which I even have I don't think it's in the camera shot, but on my shelf over here is the impact of one life. And it
okay.
was actually something that was at my mom's. It was my mom's, and she passed away a number of years ago now. So that's something that obviously a lot of memories I cherish, but it's also something I cherish that even just the impact of one life, about thinking about her life, impacting obviously me and so many others that she loved and sacrificed for. So that's a tangible reminder, even in my office, that I get to see on a regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, who is like so for anybody that might be listening to this
Hmm.
right now and thinking to themselves, Kev, I really like JJ. I like how he shows up. I really resonate with some of the stuff that he's
Hmm.
sharing and stuff. And I think maybe he might be able to help us out. Or maybe I've got a
Hmm.
friend that like he might be able to help, and I'd like to get him connected. Is there any websites, any resources we could share with folks?
Yes, definitely. A couple good places are checkifinancial.com, and I'll spell
Okay.
that out, even though I know it'll be in the description, but it's Checki. Financial.com is the website. Same name on the YouTube station is Checki Financial. So YouTube,
Okay.
type it all out, Checki Financial. Two great places for resources. And LinkedIn is always a go-to source as well. You get to see the latest posts from us there as well. So you got two of us out there, John J. Checki Jr. and JJ Checker, John J. Checki the third. So those are three
Okay.
good spots to go to if you want to know more and start a conversation.
And yes, if you're listening to this, just look down below,
Mhm.
because we will have in the show notes there will be those links right available for you. All you gotta do is just click through if you want to go check any of that out.
Thank you.
Is there any last thing that you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
Oh, definitely. Goodness, lessons. We talked about the being intentional. That's a huge thing. Really, the motivation behind what you do doesn't always come across or comes across, but it's may not something that we communicate overtly in the things that we do. Because if someone's, say, coming to us for an investment advice, they probably want to know what our investment history is versus necessarily some other characteristics. But it's important that the motivation behind what you do. So if it's serving others, loving your family, an extension your business being, in one sense, you could call it your ministry to be able to serve others. So those are definitely things that are important to me. The values that I've already expressed, my family, relationship with God, and just love the opportunities of what I get to do on a daily basis, and quality people that I get to meet along the way, like Kevin.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you, that. I am there's so much alignment between us because you and I clearly place a really high value on the right relationships
Mhm.
and just being surrounded by the just amazing people in our life that we just enjoy using our
Yes.
God-given gifts and abilities to be
Mhm.
able to serve and be able to help them and stuff and just it's like hanging out doing cool stuff with our friends, you know. And so
Correct. Yes. Yeah, definitely.
well, I'll tell you, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to get this out there and share it with folks. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Kevin, again for the opportunity and the whole podcast itself of connecting quality people with $1 million relationships.
You bet. You bet.